Are Linux power users just showing off? Are they a problem for the general Linux community and for the new users? We're going to talk about that today. So, Derek at DistroTube made a video about Linux Elitists and how people are just saying that Linux Elitists just show off with tools like tiling window managers, Emacs for text editing, or Vim for text editing, or just using the terminal just to look cool. Now, that's not true of all power users or Linux elitists, as what the common term for them is, even though I have a different definition of Linux elitist, and we're going to talk about that later. But first, I'm going to play a little clip from Derek's video, and then we're going to talk about it.
They actually believe the statements. I mean, trust me, if you read some of the emails that I get, some of these people that throw out this kind of stuff actually believe it. And quite frankly, I'm tired of it. I'm tired of the prejudice and the bias against the Linux elitist, against the Linux power user. It's discrimination. And what makes it even more discriminatory is there's actually people in high positions in the Linux community that promote this kind of stuff. There are actually Linux YouTube channels out there that cater to the new Linux user, which is great. They should, but they go to the point of making fun of the Linux elitists out there, you know, those command line users and Emacs users and Arch Linux users. You know, they make light of those people to make the Linux noob feel better, I guess. And quite frankly, I don't like it. In a lot of ways, it's like reverse discrimination. It's like, well, the Linux elitists make fun of us, so we're going to make fun of them. You know what? That's still not right, and I'm calling you guys out on that, those of you that take part in that. At the end of the day, can't we all just agree to disagree? Right? Can't we all just get along, basically? You know, the Rodney King thing. Can't we just all get along? Why do Linux users want to form their own little clubs, their own little cliques, and bicker and fight amongst ourselves?
Now, that was the main point of Derek's YouTube video, and I agree with it mostly, but there are certain parts I don't. Now, I don't think all power users are elitists. I think elitists, there's a certain attitude that comes with them, and they often snub their nose at people, and a lot of times they do show off. I will admit, they do kind of show off. They'll use a lot of these advanced tools like Emacs. I mean, I don't even get Emacs, and a lot of people would call me a power user in Linux, and I don't even use Emacs. And they'll use tiling window managers and all this stuff. And he kind of made a stab at GNOME, or GNOME, as I usually put it. And literally, that it's bloated and stuff. But a lot of people like GNOME because it works, and it works right out of the box. You're not installing a bunch of other tools that you have to install to get a working operating system. It's all there when you install the GNOME environment. Same with Mate or XFCE. They all include your basic tools to run your operating system. Where tiling window managers, floating window managers, they don't. They're just the window manager. So, I mean, a lot of people, they don't want us to go through and install those all by hand. And that's just fine. And me, I like using full desktop environments just because they're quick to set up. And they've got all the tools. I know I'll be able to use it. And if I forget something, I'm not going to have to drop the TTY just to install a terminal emulator. It's going to be there. But it's really what works for anybody else. Now, what I do agree with him is that the elitists should not be bad-mouthing or making fun of the Linux noobs. That is totally uncalled for. And the noobs, or those who are catering to the noobs, should not be making fun of the Linux elitist or the power user. The power user is going to be using his terminal. He's going to be using his Emacs. He's going to be using Vim for his text editing, or Nano. Now, I particularly don't use Vim or Emacs. I don't get Emacs, like I said. I use a text editor called Atom. And we'll go over Atom in one video later. But if I'm doing my mainline programming or scripting, that's the text editor I'm going to use. It's a GUI text editor, and it's highly configurable, and I can make it work for the way I work. But however, I'm not going to knock Derek, who uses Vim a lot, or Emacs for his text editing and computer programming, etc., because those fit his workflow in the way he wants to work. And some of you may want to use Sublime text editor for your programming. And I'm not going to knock you for that. I often say, if you want to use a proprietary program like Sublime, if that's the way you work and it fits your workflow, use it. Linux is about choice, and you should be able to choose to use a proprietary program if you wish. But we should not have this infighting between the Linux noobs and the normal users and the power users and / elitists. That shouldn't be going on whatsoever. And now, a lot of that, I think, the problem is the power users unwilling to help the noobs. You see that in the Arch forums a lot. When you ask a newbie question in the Arch forums, you will get RTFM as an answer, which stands for read the effing manual if you didn't know. And that does nobody any good. If you know that it's in the manual, then you should be able to point them in the right direction by linking them to the wiki article in the manual. To me, RTFM is just a lazy answer. And then offer to help if that does not solve his problem. The Linux community still has its problems, and we should address them. However, we will always have differing opinions on the way we think computers should run. And that's okay. But we all can just agree to disagree. Alright, I'm going to link DistroTube's video in the description. If you like this video, go ahead and leave a like, comment. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this subject, and subscribe. Have a great day, and I will see you in the next one.